So this is session 5 of StarFinder, the Fragments of Eternity with dramatic intro music that we are yet to pay for. And it is the 30th of October. We were playing on a Jiggy Tuesday instead of a Mystical Monday. And this is a new thing apparently I'm doing. I'm Ryan, the GM. Here's the players.
Hi, I'm Olka. I play Emmelyn, who is a Lashanta pilot.
Hi, I am Nico. I'm playing Zora, the Vest Captain.
I'm Alex. I'm playing Nix 5, the android mechanic.
Hello, I am Colin. I am playing Lyko, who is the sort of undead kind of a bit bounty hunter of sorts. Lots of sorts in there.
Yes.
Sorts.
All sorts, you could say.
Licorice. No.
Lycorish.
Oh no. Oh no. What have I done?
And?
Hello, I'm Calum, and I am playing, will be playing Zigg, the space rat. Hashtag Calum is precious.
Hashtag Calum is precious.
Does it work if you say it yourself?
I don't think so.
No.
I think that's just jumping the shark now, I think. But yeah, or zigging
I should have.
the rat.
I should have gone. I am hashtag Calum is precious, but no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I know. We'll fix it in post. Hashtag no.
Fix it in post.
We won't. Yeah.
I'm against fixing anything.
Obviously, standard intro policy demands smash that like button, everybody. Get it smashed. If you haven't smashed it, there's still time.
Absolutely. Pound that like button.
Yeah.
Go to town on it.
Yeah.
Other vulgar ways of expressing that sentiment are available.
So, yeah, session 5. And what do you recall from last session? Those who have listened to it just moments ago, just stick with us.
So, I guess we got sent in a little bit of a time warp. As far as we can tell, anyway. Got jumped by 2 security guards, took a hostage.
Sorry, you got jumped, but no,
Well, we
carry on.
We jumped, right, let's turn that around. We jumped
didn't
2
start the
security
fire,
guards,
I would argue.
took a hostage. we tried to disarm the situation, but I mean, it didn't work.
Disarm the situation?
Well, we technically did.
In the most best way possible.
Yes,
Did we not shoot a cannon at them?
That's neither here nor there.
we did, but he insulted me, right? I mean, like
I
pretty
did
harsh words.
try using the leverage of Hostage Boy to dissuade them from, getting their shit on, but that did not achieve anything ultimately. And I didn't knowingly endanger him, even though he's probably dead anyway, because he's probably an orb and will be gooped as soon as he's unorbed. But I thought that was very admirable.
Also, Colin, your sensitivity might be a tiny bit too low.
Maybe a bit too low.
Just
That's unusual.
Just a tiny bit, only in the sense of I think we might end up losing the ends of your sentences at some point.
Okay, let me have a look.
But yeah, so what else do you remember from last time? Where did we end? Do you recall?
Alice got a fancy new suit.
Yes. She got herself a body, I believe it's pronounced.
Got a brand new bag.
Yes.
Rather than Papa, because she's designed to appear female.
Sure. Right. So I believe the last thing was her kind of waving to the group. Yeah. What did you do?
Seeing as Alice has just been installed in it, I'd probably want to run some quick checks. Just to make sure everything's working.
Okay, yeah. Tell me how you're going about that. And like your overall end goal.
I mean, if she's okay with it, I'd try to hook up to the system, because I'm assuming there's still cables there.
Most of the cables like kind of got ripped out when she fell over.
Oh, okay.
And I think your custom rig is still attached, or your compad, sorry, I should say, it's still attached to that database, I believe, in that other room.
Yeah, I'm still stealing data. In which case, I'll probably just go back and check on that. Alice, well, she seems to be walking around, doesn't she?
Well, she got back up and then looked at the group and just kind of waved. I think that's where we ended it last time. With her being like, hi. Getting used to her, her deer, baby deer kind of posing. And then as she gets up, wave to the group. But yeah, so if you want to head back off to that lab kind of sealed room thing where that suit came from, yeah, you can go back and just, are you going to leave the datapad in for longer, or are you going to just take it?
Well, I'm going to leave it in as long as we've got, but
Okay.
yeah, at some point we'll have to move on.
Cool. As you get in there, you check it. It's still got 3 hours, right? Because not much time actually passed since we've last been here. What's everybody else doing at that exact moment in time? Now that they've just watched Nix 5 upload Alice to a power armor suit, mobile housing unit, I believe I called it.
Observing that mainly, but I think Lyko would sort of, in a non-threatening way, just kind of poke her to see how stable she was, because she was not initially.
Yeah, you prod and it's just heavy duty armor.
He nods
prod.
his head in approval.
Yeah. She kind of mimics that. You can kind of see again, as I said, the faceplate's got screens underneath the visor, and you can see the kind of pinkish orangey light of her holographic form, but it's just kind of the head that you see, and she kind of as if she's kind of looking around inside it, and then kind of just nods back to you as you start nodding. But she does it with that look of, is this what we're doing now? Kind of action. And you can hear the motors going in the neck joints and stuff like that of the suit. The little servos. But yeah, so what about Emmelyn and Zora?
So I think Emmelyn is standing at the door, kind of being a bit impatient, tapping her foot, just ready to go.
So the one with the kind of
get out here.
the one with the kind of plasmoid orb.
Yeah.
Cool, yep.
Yeah, I just want to leave.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was Zora?
I feel like Zora's kind of feeling the same, actually. He's kind of just arms crossed, looking at what's happening, but he's just feeling anxious, right? Just wants to get going because station's breaking.
Okay, well, Nix 5 has just walked off into that room again, and he's just standing looking at his datapad plugged into a computer. So, go figure.
What's the situation next?
I'm just copying the data over relating to the power armor.
How long's it going to take?
3 hours.
We don't have 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, the station is currently crumbling around us. We don't really have time for that.
That's a fair point.
Alice, haven't you got a copy of the data?
You see, Alice is walking just up and down the aisles of the desks, just practicing.
Alice, concentrate.
It's that thing, where you pretend to be spacewalking on the moon, so your arms are out to the side and you're taking big exaggerated steps. So she stops and then just kind of turns and looks back. It's what?
Concentrate.
I am. And looks down at her foot, which she's half holding up in the air. Mid-step. She kind of looks like the Karate Kid, and other movies do exist.
Nobody mentioned babysitting on this mission.
She's adjusting to her newfound tangibility. Lyko looks up as if questioning his own word choice there.
Yeah.
And then settles on it. Yeah, this is new for her. It's gonna take a minute, he says, sort of scratching at his stubble.
I mean,
She just
usually start on all fours.
I think before Zora replies back, you've got as Lyko's kind of defending her in a way. You just see Alice looking at that Lyko and just nodding in that exact way again, as if yes, this is how we have interacted. And then Zora, what were you saying?
I say so. Vesk usually starting all fours. It's just more like a joke. Like,
I enjoyed it.
So yeah. So she like kind of stops doing her practicing walking up and down. She heads back to like where the computer column was that she was hooked up to moments ago, and she kind of looks around, and then just kind of like slowly looks over at each of you. So like stares at Zora, looks over at Lyko, nods slightly, and then looks over at Emmelyn, and then you just see her start to tap her foot as well. But you still hear it because it's like clunking on the floor.
I immediately stop doing that.
So does she. She just stops and then kind of like turns back to like the others.
so, about the data, Alice? Do you have a copy of the data?
And you can see like her looking to the side in the helmet, and she's like, "I could get you a copy.
Will it be quicker than 3 hours?
I can." And she kind of looks over at the doorway with Nyx in the other room, and like looks back at you and then looks up again. Obviously, because it looks straight into your chest and then looks up. Right. Sure. She smiles. And then like the kind of like purpley glow like brightens a little bit when she smiles on the display of the helmet, and then she kind of goes, "Sure, yeah." And like big beams smile, and then she turns round and starts heading into the room, and she like gets to the doorway and stops and starts to like hunch down a little bit and look up as if something's about to jump down on, because obviously she had issues with the door previously.
Yeah.
And then she kind of like puts her hand in, and then just starts like wiggle it, and then like puts one of the her feet, puts one of her feet in, and then kind of just slowly like edges forward as if trying to squeeze herself through a completely open door. And then she kind of like stands up straight, looks around, and then turns around, smiles back at the group, and puts 2 of her thumbs up. You know, kind of like, "Hey."
So, and a big toothy grin.
You see her like smile as well, like scrunching her face up, smiling on her holographic display. Then she turns round and she goes up and like taps you on the shoulder. It's probably a bit heavy-handed, Nyx. So it's more like thunk, thunk, thunk. And then she kind of just waits.
Yes, Alice?
Do you turn round to face her? Are you still staring at the computer
Just
console?
stare at the screen.
Right. And then she just kind of like puts her hands at either side of like your arms, like on your like biceps, like your shoulders, if you will. And she kind of like nudges you the tiniest bit, as if, "Please, can I move you?" But she doesn't actually move you.
I then step out of the way.
And then she kind of like gives you a thumbs up, a smile. And then she rips the computer out of the floor. And then just slowly staggers back the way. And then dumps it at Zora's feet. And she like looks at you, smiles, and puts 2 thumbs up.
Well,
Nyx is like the shot is her smiling, 2 thumbs up. Zora's maybe just at the far left of the shot. In the background, at the far right, you've got Nyx through the doorway, staring at the floor that's got all these wires like sparking out of it. And she's just smiling with her 2 thumbs, like, "Hey." That was definitely quicker than 3 hours.
it was. You're carrying that. Like, it's like-
You see her like
To get
look
back
down at it and like scrunch up her face, like,
We'll have to get that back to the ship before we can make sure it works.
You can hear like a whistling noise, and then her rolling her eyes on the faceplate. As that happens though, like you hear the whistling and the rolling eyes, and then you hear like Nyx saying, "We'll have to get that back," you know, to make sure it works. The lights go out and the place shudders again. It's quite a violent shudder. Emmelyn, I need a reflex save. And I mean
Right.
reflex save.
Let me open up the.
Oh yeah.
So a reflex save.
Yep.
Where is that?
And just type.
Oh right, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, you want me to type?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even just write save. Save
yep,
is fine.
Yep.
Oh, that's so loud.
Savvy.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Take 4 damage.
Oh my.
Yup.
Okay.
And I'll describe this. So, you made your save, which means you're only taking half from this, which is you kind of dodge quick enough to get out of the brunt of it. As the lights flicker off and the place starts to shake, the plasmoid next to you, like floating kind of in the doorway, lets out like a massive tendrils of electricity and like kind of purple energy that spark all over the place as if they're feeling for things, and like they like run like up the side of you that kind of like start to burn you as you like dodge out of the way really quickly. But yeah, you take 4 damage. So this essentially electrical jellyfish thing now starts just like kind of like almost like phasing through the doorway, and then pushes itself through as if pulling itself with all these tendrils, and then just the tendrils eventually vanish, and then the lights in this room start to flicker back on like in stages. Yeah, you can see like the burn marks all down the side, like the right hand side of Emmelyn as well. Yeah.
So,
Are you okay, Emmelyn?
I'll deal with it. I'll be fine. I would like to get out of here though.
I would agree.
We probably shouldn't waste any time here then.
Time to leave.
if we're thinking about investigating the source of the tremors, I think I might have an idea. Those things could be affecting the ship's systems if they can, do that. How many crew did you say there were, Alice?
She kind of looks at you, nods, and then it's like 300, give or take.
Say something happens, people start to panic, run. Maybe they all gather in one area, a bay or something, and then whatever transformed them happens, and suddenly you've got a huge critical mass of all of those in one place. They could interact, build up to something. Yeah, I don't know that I want to find out, but
You see like Alice nodding along with everything you're saying.
I don't know if there's much we'd be able to do, even if we did find it. I mean, besides kill them, but then that's killing the crew that's going to die anyway with the station.
Shall we investigate this classified project? That may have something to do with it.
Alice gets kind of excited about it and goes, yes, we totally should. Leans down and like pulls out your data pad from the kind of trashed console on the ground and then hands it to you excitedly.
Thank you, Alice.
You're welcome.
I believe it's this way, Captain.
Would nod. Cool. Because it's basically the same way in it, really, the same distance back. It's kind of like a loop right now, aren't we?
There was
If I remember right.
there was no way to get further than where you got to. Like this was like the end of the line for this lab section. But you can go all the way back clockwise to where you started, and then you'd go clockwise again to go round to the source of the shudders, as Alice said.
And that was the classified project, was it?
Yes.
Okay, I would nod, but I say, but let's make it quick.
Of course, Captain.
To just have Alice nodding, kind of consistently.
obviously I would follow the cap.
Yep. So
Yeah.
nobody obviously helps Emmelyn. Screw you, Emmelyn. Apparently.
I asked.
She assured of all. She's a strong, independent woman.
Before we move on, can I quickly ask Olka, how does the right. I think I may have asked this before and forgotten the answer, so I apologise if that's the case. How does one interact with you if they want to initiate brain talk? Would you pick up on it if someone thought at you, for instance?
No, I think she'd have to.
no.
I think
No,
she
you
needs to
have to be
initiate it.
actively
Yeah.
seeking.
No.
Okay, because I just thought of an amusing remark he might have made psychically when the captain smiled earlier.
Mm.
Like I sort of never get used to that kind of thing,
Yeah.
but wouldn't have broadcast, and so
Uh-huh.
I was wondering, would that be something? But no, not unless Emmelyn was specifically looking at
Yeah,
it.
like, give me a wee second
Yeah.
there. Let's just actually read what it says, because if we can jank it, why not? Right? I'm not that fussed about if it can be janked or not, but I just don't think it can be. So let's find the list.
What has been janked cannot be unjanked.
Yeah, something like that. Only nothing like that. Let's find the Lashunta.
It just says they can mentally communicate with any creatures within 30 feet. within the share
Yeah,
line.
like I feel like
Yeah, well, they can mentally. There's nothing to indicate that they would be able to receive. So I would assume, lacking anything else, that that wouldn't be something we could do.
if anyone share a language, conversing. Yeah, I'd say that it needs to be them that activate it. A bit like if you walk
Yeah.
it, like basically you phone them. Is the gist of it. Yeah.
And once she's initiated contact, she might well be able to pick up something like that.
Yeah.
Sort of off the cuff remarks could be exchanged that way, but it would have to be her initiating.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd
cool.
say that's it.
I will keep that in mind. I hope that was riveting for all you listener at home.
It's a good rule though. Like
Alright.
it's good to question this stuff because it also means that people can start to understand if all those amazing fans that we have. Also, hello Nick for my work. Hashtag Calum is precious, and yeah.
Calum is present.
But yeah, if we have the rules obviously aired as we go, it maybe help people who are listening that have no concept of the game at all.
I think it helps us as well.
Oh yeah, no, it's my plans to go over everything that we have to as we go. But yeah, so I think I would prefer it because it from a role-playing GMing point of view, it's more of it is her ability because then you couldn't all just shout mentally to try and distract her, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely like she instigates. I don't have an issue if there is a scene where she goes, I'm going to try and do my best to maintain open telepathic contact with people, but then that's when I might start being like, well, you're at a minus because of this distraction, blah blah blah. But I don't mind if that's stuff that you just want to. So always question these things as we go, basically. But yeah, so Zora, are you heading out first?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? I know the way now.
Cool. Well, you get to the doors, the airlock doors, and they obviously hit the button. Doesn't open.
Do the release thing? No? Is that the button you were talking about?
Nope. These doors are opened for you guys by pushing buttons. That was the doors that weren't on the rings.
ones.
Yeah, it was the kind of like the central column doors that had all the manual releases. But yeah, these ones were like Nick's pretty much walked up to them, a holographic panel appeared, tapped a button, and they opened for the most part. These don't budge. Like they don't even like react.
Is
There's like scorch
Well,
marks from where all the tendrils and stuff pulled through.
there a similar manual release on these ones?
Not that you can see.
Any ideas?
Alice, you seem pretty strong. Any chance of getting these open?
She kind of looks at you and then like cocks her head, and you hear like the little servos like whir as the armor's kind of head tilts, and she's like, "Do I?"
You ripped the computer off with no real issues.
She looks down at like the computer console at her feet and goes, "Oh yeah," and then kind of like does that thing where she hunches over, puts her arms out to the side, and just kind of weirdly walks all the way to the airlock doors. Yeah, I'll make a roll for her. Let's see.
This.
GM roll 1d20 plus Alice. No. I rolled really badly. I won't tell you the mods she has, but I'll definitely say that she rolled a 4. So on the dice. So she goes up and she starts just like putting her hands on the door, and then you just see her like move the hands, like so she presses like her palms flat against the door, and then she just slides them across the metal, like apart, and then she goes, "This one isn't as easy to grip." As she turns round and you see her making like crab hands, and she kind of looks up at Zora, like distinctively stares at your arm, like your bicep, and then looks up at you as if expecting.
As in, like, give me a shot, useless thing.
Sure looks so sad.
Thing.
I smile.
Wow.
Yep. Wow.
So do you want me to roll, I guess?
Yeah.
Roll strength
Um,
or athletics or something? I don't know. I'm
Or
not
just,
sure.
I don't know, apply Vesk to door, type that up or something.
I'm just sort of muttering. Well, I'm not the door guy, so. But in his accent, because I forgot about it for a second there. Oops.
We'll fix it in post. No, we won't.
Yeah.
Strength or athletics, what would it be?
Hey, athletics, yeah. I'll give you athletics. There we go. That's a bit better. It's
Strength.
like, you can get it to budge, but it isn't easy. Like, if somebody helps you, maybe, but you need somebody to help you.
Kind of gesture towards Alice to help, I guess. Oh, come on, make yourself useful.
She still looked like kind of like sad face on the faceplate of the holographic display. She kind of looks up. She walks up closer, stares at the door, looks up at like you as you're like maybe at the left hand side with your hands buried into like the part where the doors connect, and you've like started to heave them back, and you hear the creak of the metal. And then she just walks up and she just puts like a hand on your shoulder and pats it. And you just like maybe like you just slowly turn your head and stare at her, and she goes, "You're doing great, Zora."
Help with the door, woman!
And then she kind of goes, "Oh," and then like walks forward, and then like puts her hands between like the parts of the door, and then just like pushes it open, and you hear the creaking as well, and like the where her hands are, you can see the metal buckle around the shapes of the armored kind of hands, and then yeah, between Zora and Alice, the doors get like wrenched open. They ain't closing again, you know.
Give her a thumbs up.
You just see it like the faceplate brighten up again, and she smiles. She gives you 2 thumbs up.
Got the juices.
And she's kind of just standing in the door with her thumbs up, and she kind of like just looks over at her, like, "We should go." And that's what she says. "We should go."
I would nod and proceed onward.
Don't forget the computer analyst.
She gives you
Lift off.
a single thumbs up, and then like heads over. Again, that weird walking that she does, and then goes like, it's almost cowboy-esque, and she kind of like leans down and like just heaves the computer up, and then starts walking at the back of the group with it. What is happening in the background of your audio, Nico?
I'm sorry, it's fireworks. I'll mute.
Ah.
Ah.
Just in his house randomly. He's like, "Sorry, I had 5 minutes. I lit
Located
fireworks."
exclusively, localized exclusively to your. What words are hard? And
May
get
I
one.
see it?
No.
I got your back, don't worry. Oh. So anyway, yeah, what's everybody up to? Like, what he's doing? He's gonna loot anything else? Mostly aimed at Emmelyn, or
I think she just wants to go. She's got her mug.
Yeah.
She's happy.
yep, universe's best dad. Like,
I've got my computer.
yep, your actual computer. I mean, you could go over the data that was on it if you wanted. I mean, you got a chunk of data, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess while we're walking, I'll skim through the datapad.
sure, yeah. Do they give a computer roll?
Yep.
You get. Dun dun dun.
Computers. Wow. Wow. That's a natural one for the session.
So you accidentally delete all the data.
I'm
Just-
glad we have the backup.
Yeah, like you literally go to load it up, and it does that thing where it hangs for a bit because it was ripped out. It wasn't safely removed hardware.
Yep.
And then it's corrupted the data that was downloaded because it was interrupted by ripping the console from the floor. But yeah, I mean, there's a good chance you might be able to recover pretty much everything from the actual computer that she's heaving, right?
Yes, although I do make a note to go with Alice later the importance of ejecting hardware.
Yes, it's probably something to teach the giant suit of power armor. Um,
I schedule in a session for when we're back on the ship.
add to calendar. So yeah, you head, like, if you aren't gonna like meander, if you will, you head through to like the first lab you went into, and you can see remember there was like one of the plasmoids was in the top right corner and one was in the bottom left, but the bottom left one got splattered all over Olka, or Emmelyn I should say.
Yep.
But you can see that two of the plasmoids, the one that's burnt through the last two labs, and the what do you call it, the one that was in the top right of this room, that's is everyone okay? Because I think my roll 20 just kicked everybody.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I'm seeing only myself.
Yeah,
No,
that's-
me too.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna
I'm losing myself as well.
gonna refresh and see if that fixes it. Oh, everybody's
Oh, yep, back in.
some people are back.
yeah, just
Refreshing as we speak, and it seems to be working.
Okay, that was odd, but oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's back. Good. Let's see. Still session 5. Cool. But yeah, so as you said back, the plasmoids have, like, they're still these weird, big, tendrily, jellyfishy type energy creatures at the moment, and they're both just heading straight for like the doors you came in originally. So that one you'd have just walked in. So they're heading towards. I mean, you could say they're heading clockwise around this ring, and then like they both just start phasing through the door as well, burning it as they go. Everyone's been kicked again, it seems.
Yep. I'm back in.
Same, it's fine. We'll just ignore that until that fixes itself. But yeah, so what are you up to? Think Zora leading the charge here? So yeah,
Emmelyn, watch out for the tendrils.
do we still
just
have
kind
an
of
Emmelyn?
nod to that. Definitely.
Olka, you still with us?
Yes,
Good.
sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
I mean, just in
I,
case you...
I sarcastically said yes to,
Okay.
Is there-
to next before I realised my microphone's muted.
Is there anything around I could just chuck at one of them?
Easily, there's like, I don't know, like a circuit board or something you could just pick up from
Yeah,
the...
like I'll just pick up a stray circuit board. Do you want me to roll to throw?
No, I mean, like, are you aiming, like, other than the
I
giant...
mean, it's a
two-
fairly broad target, isn't it? So,
Yeah, like, it's pretty easy. Just chuck that and then, yeah.
does it particularly matter which one I'm targeting either? Like, just whichever's closest
at
to
this
me,
point,
I
they're
suppose.
ki- At this point, they're both kind of about the same distance. Like, they're both, like... Use know those
Okay.
two, but if MD
Yeah.
had just seen this, it could just be a giant energy creature, you know?
Well, I'll just lob it at the general direction and
Yeah.
assume it will hit one.
So, like,
As he does it, do we have enough time to react?
probably not, because he probably didn't broadcast that. He probably just, like,
No, I wouldn't have.
walked in,
just-
looked at the, like, shelf, picked it up and threw it, I imagine.
Yeah. Because I would have tried to hide behind Zora.
Well, you can be behind Zora, right? 'Cause,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. So,
I'd say it's probably Lyko and Zora that probably went through first anyway, right? So,
yeah.
I would have followed the captain. Yeah.
yeah, and then obviously it could be Emmelyn and Nyx, and then Alice at the back with that fucking computer. Hashtag language. And yeah, you throw, like, you pick up the circuit board, you just discus throw it off into the far side of the lab. Can't remember how long I said the lab was. 40 feet maybe. Can't remember. Discus throw it. As soon as it gets like within a few meters of them, one of the energy tendrils like snaps up like a whip. You hear the crack of energy, and it just instantly vaporizes the circuit board. just before they all then like wriggle through and vanish through the door, leaving all the scorch marks on the door.
That is new and worrying.
Power goes out
Yes.
again, just so she's know.
Let's not go anywhere near them from now on, shall we?
We should have popped them when we had the chance. Oh well.
Kind of nod to that. I would nod to that. Yeah.
So, yeah. What's the plan? He's in the dark.
Shoot them. Just shoot them.
Shoot what?
Shoot one of the things.
They're gone?
Is there...
Yeah, they moved
Alright, they're
through.
gone.
They went through the
Already.
door, leaving burn marks behind.
Oh,
Just as a...
lovely.
Like, basically what we saw is, you just walked in, you saw these two things, like, starting to go through the door in the far side. Lyko picked up the chipboard, threw it, and as the thing came in like a meter or whatever of them, a big like whip crack of energy, like, just incinerated it. And then, but with that, they all like finished their wriggling through the door and vanished.
Turn the light on then and proceed towards the door, I guess.
Shall we give them a moment to get further away before we try opening the door, Captain?
Yeah, I'll steadily go towards the door.
You hear from like the electronic voice behind. You hear the electronic voice behind this big block computer console saying, "I made mostly of circuits. I would like to wait." It's Alice, obviously.
You do that. Keep that console safe.
And me.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I would steadily go towards the door then.
You
No
hear,
rush.
you hear like as you like flick on your comm flashlight, you then like there's a sudden ooh noise that comes from Alice, and then like very bright lights like shine on from like her shoulders. So you've only got like the light from like the left or sorry the right hand shoulder, as like that's the one that's not propping up the computer console. But you can clearly tell the other one is on as well, and it's like she's just found flashlights in her suit.
Good. Oh, you Alice. You Alice.
Alice, what else do you have on that suit?
She kind of just looks at you, and maybe like you're kind of like because you're the closest to her, maybe you're a bit kind of overwhelmed by the light that's obviously just straight there. You could probably not really see her. She's probably got that weird silhouetted thing going on, and then she's just like, "Yeah, I'm working on that."
Can you let us know if you find any weapons before you try to use them, please?
Do you think we're in danger?
No,
Because I
I'd like
do.
some warning.
And like she kind of like leans in, and you hear like the creak of the console in her hands, and she kind of leans in. She goes, "I really want off this station."
We're going to get off this station, Alice.
Okay, like she does like a kind of almost half smile, you know, where she goes to smile but is still kind of worried. Like, I acknowledge that you've said something that's kind of comforting, but still scary. So yeah,
I think as Nick says, we're not in danger. I will just stand behind him and just make a really like, what?
yeah,
What do you mean we're not in danger face?
like half of the suit still
considering-
singeing.
Yes, considering I took damage.
Yeah.
Just eyebrows raised, just like, really?
Angsty
No
antenna, you know.
Yeah.
No more danger than we're usually in.
But yeah, like what's Zora and Lyko doing at the other side of the problem?
Looking increasingly quizzically at Nyx.
Probably hard to do
I'd
again as
waiting
well with
for-
that dark vision problem with the floodlight almost in your eyes.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm probably squinting a bit because they're too. I'm better at handling the dark than normal humans are, but also adjusting to the dark and then light and then dark. That's
Yeah.
going to be quite awkward, quite uncomfortable. Mainly, he's sort of waiting for the cap to take the lead, but also quite eager to stay a little bit behind.
Chasing the lead.
Yeah, but
I'm already walking.
Yeah, but I think what they're saying is they're at the
Actually,
halfway
the-
and back mark, and you're at the halfway and forward
Oh,
mark.
right, yeah.
Zora,
Cool, yeah.
Zora of the single party. All the single vesks. All the single vesks.
All the single places.
Great thing about following is it means you're behind them.
Yeah. I think that's actually on the leather jacket of Emmelyn. I think that's the patch on the back of it. But yeah, still Zora, what's happening? Are you gonna deal with this last
Yeah.
airlock door?
Yeah. Try.
Deal with it. Give me a roll. Give me some athletics.
Some athletics.
Some
and I'll do the-
veskletics.
I'll do the claw handing the door again.
Yup. I think you could literally have pressed up on the keypad.
I probably could have, but. Clickety click.
Oofed.
Yay.
That's spastic.
So, can you explain why this is not an issue for you this time? Like, what's
Just do it
different?
now. I'm just used to it now. I mean, like, fool me once.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, like, Zora, you got to the door. Like, hands go straight into the metal, wrench it open. Like, yeah, done.
Just hand pat, like, like brush off my hands and
Mhm.
make sure there's no glowy orb tendril things in front of me.
Mm. Right, so you're basically back in the big T-junction shape where you obviously had I think the ending of session 3, and this is like a slightly more like open spaced area, if that makes sense. I don't mean open to space though; they're very different things, really. So you've got a lot more like windows, if you will, in this section, and it goes off into like the clean room area, that the decontamination sections and whatnot, to segregate the labs from the central column. And can everyone just roll perception? I don't need you to type, I just need you all to give me a perception check.
Boink.
Well, poor effort from me. Not the worst, but poor.
Okay, yeah.
I tried.
Oh god, Colin, are you eating?
Oh, sorry. I apologise. I didn't realise how loud that would be.
You're very crinkly. Very crinkly. Right, okay, so we've got some perception checks here. How do we do? We got Zora with a 15, we got Nix with a 23, we got Lyko with a 13, and we got Emmelyn with a 4. Okay. Yeah. I'd say that Zora and Nix definitely spot this. Like, Lyko, you probably can spot it, but just not instantly. Maybe it's that you've noticed they have instantly noticed something, so you then look. Emmelyn, no. Just like you can
No.
in a second you can tell me why you didn't notice this, but I'll describe what the others sees first. So like Zora heaves the door open and maybe turns back to the group, and then obviously like Lyko maybe goes out first and does his his gun raised, looking around to secure the T-junction like you had previously. This was your narrative excuse earlier, and then with that in play, you then have a Nix who just walks out, just datapad slotted away. Kind of no real worry other than just to carry on moving, so maybe that's why he didn't have to keep watch, didn't have to like keep the doors wrenched open, isn't carrying a giant computer or being Emmelyn. So you walk out and instantly you spot out of the viewing kind of big panels, the kind of big kind of plexiglass panels. Lots of glints that aren't stars moving from the station. Hundreds of them. And then Zora, as you head through after everybody's through, maybe you head through after Nix is through, with Emmelyn and Alice still about to walk through. You spot it straight away because you just see Nix staring at something, and you look out and you see these glints of light. Again, masses of them. Maybe at first you think they're stars, and then you notice that they're all moving, and they're not stars. And then then Lyko, you can definitely notice them now out the window because you've noticed these two being like, wait, what? And you've finished doing your this area is not an immediate threat. Look over there. There's no sign of the plasmoid things in this room, but as I said, out the window, that looks back, like so it looks inward to the central column. Yeah, you just see all these motes of light. Emmelyn, how do you not notice this? What are you up to that means you're not paying attention?
Well, I think I might be just still a little bit blinded from
Being like
Alice.
electro whipped or Alice, yeah.
Yeah, and also if I'm behind the vest, I can't really see.
I mean, that's
anything.
true.
Tiny Emmelyn.
Makes sense. That's why I never had Alice roll, because there's just no way she could have seen this, not given the order of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's everybody's reaction to this? Mostly starting with Nyx and Zora, really.
Are they travelling? I'm sure we can see this outside the station. From
Yeah,
like
there's hundreds of them.
Or something. Yeah, cool. And are they traveling from the station, like away from the station?
Like, as if coming from all different parts of like the giant central column, all kind of heading towards the outer ring.
And when you say hundreds of them, we talk about 300.
Not as much as 300, but not necessarily that far away from 300.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a couple of hundreds.
298.
No, you know at least 7 are dead.
Yep.
Well, they look like they're coming in this direction.
We might want to hurry up.
And like you can tell straight away, like they're not heading directly for you, but they're not exactly.
Yeah, they're coming in the ring. They're probably going. Well, they're not making things better, probably.
It's also probably because Emmelyn's in the dark as well. Probably doesn't help, as well. That's also another reason. Probably a good reason.
We are not being paid for this.
I agree. I agree. Full heartedly.
You hear like a thud from behind you guys as Alice puts the computer down, and then you hear just like heavy breathing, like, and she you turn round and she's got like her hands like on her hips, on like her thighs, sorry, and she's hunched over, like as if she's knackered.
Huh. Do you get tired?
She stands up and looks at you like, what?
Well, I'm confused. What's happening?
I goes, ooh, and then like points at all the lights.
Yep.
We should move more quickly.
Mm.
But not to this. Moving
Alice,
swiftly. That's what
can
we
you-
do.
Can you run with that computer?
She turns round and she's like, and you just see her looking quite like a kid in Christmas, like the big smile and like face lit up, obviously literally because her face is lit up, and then she looks and goes, I can see them, and like points behind her.
That is interesting.
She turns back round and just looks out the window. Then there's a massive shake again with the station. You hear like the metal bending, tearing sounds of like structural integrity not being so structurally integral. You just know what I mean. And
It's being more integral in the sense that it's being less structural.
yes, integrally speaking.
The integrity is not so much.
No, it is. It's a shaky boy. This station. It's a shaky boy. That's the engineering term, I believe. And
Yes.
yeah, so it's not great. Yeah, the whole thing is not great at all. Like even your mag boots are actually struggling to hold on to the plating.
Okay.
Alice, grab the console. Let's go. Very fast.
The good news is, if she can perceive them, she can probably avoid them.
She turns around and she goes, what way are we going? And she kind of like looks towards the other airlock. She like, and then she kind of looks back towards the decontamination room, and she like, and then just like stops and just looks back at the group. Kind of like focused on Zora, since that's most people seem to look at Zora for answers, and looks up at you and goes,
Well,
where are we going?
at this point, do we even want to go to the secret room? Because it looks scary. Things are getting scary.
I mean, are you saying this as Zora, or are you saying this as Nico?
I'm just saying this. Yeah, this is more just as Nico.
Oh, I say it as
Yeah.
Zora.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't look like we've got much time to be going to the secret room. This top secret project room.
So are we abandoning all hope of helping these people?
Like Alice just kind of like turns to like Nix and has like quite like a disheartened face, as if, oh, it's just kind of dawned on her that that's what's been discussed, is the fact that yous are talking about giving up on the place.
I mean, it's a long shot that this project has anything to even do with us.
Or that we can
And-
help if it does.
Exactly.
If Alice had a gif for her face right now, it would be the equation woman trying to puzzle solve, and she goes,
Sorry, oops.
she has a look and she's like, and it does that loudly enough to try and interrupt whatever conversation was happening, and goes, there, Kellic looks to the side and goes, we might not make it back in time. And then just looks up at everybody. And then looks down at the computer, and then kind of looks at herself, and she's like, the way I see it, and she kind of like blinks, and then goes, I don't want to stay here. However, I also want to survive. And kind of like does that thing where she looks over the group really slowly at that. In that kind of, I'm stating a really obvious, I want to survive, you also want to survive.
Yeah,
kind of.
I'm probably just kind of nodding at
Uh-huh.
that point. Like, yep.
As you start
Yeah.
nodding, she'll start to nod back, just
Oh god.
exactly like that thing Lyko taught her. And she's like, I don't know what's in there, and like points at that other room, and goes, but if it's causing the problems, we could just eject that section of the ring. It might not keep us together, but it might buy us time to get back. And then kind of like brings up the map of how yous got here in the first place, which took hours, if yous recall. And then points at the computer core and goes, yous want me to carry that? This is going to double. And she closes her like holographic map thing. Goes, and she also says, also I can do that now. And like projects the map again out of her palm. And closes it again.
Well, do we eject it? I guess. I don't see why we don't eject it. If it's got to buy his time. Maybe. Possibly.
Also,
Next time.
like she kind of like puts her hand up again and goes, also, and like points out the window. They all seem to be going somewhere.
Can we see which direction they're heading in?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Uh,
clockwise around the ring from where you are right now.
so towards the classified.
Yeah, I mean, if you had like an exact map and did a lot of trigonometry and vectors, yeah, you could probably guess that they're all heading exactly towards that secret lab. That isn't secret; it's just classified. Yep.
Whatever choice we make is a gamble. We don't. None of us are experts in whatever the hell they are. I think, I think we have to just not assume we can fix this, and try and get off the ship station.
Alison puts her hand up again, as if asking a question, and then says, I'm also not networked anymore. Kind of like shrugs. With her
So
hands
how
out
do
to
you
the side.
eject the...
Oh, we'd have to manually eject it. But what I was concerned about was the every single door from here to the station hangar.
If we open those doors, will they stay open?
Which doors?
The doors to the hangar.
Well, and she kind of like looks at you like really kind of blankly. It's like, I'm not networked anymore. And kind of just waits, assuming you got what she meant.
We've got the manual release.
She like squints at you. Goes, the external hangar doors that I locked while part of the security network of this station. I am no longer part of that network.
Well then.
And she kind of like turns to the group and goes, so, and he points down to the computer. It's going to take us, and then she kind of like looks up and goes, many hours? Shrug. And like she's just like shrugging. Going to take us many hours to get back, and it'll take us some time to force the hangar doors open, assuming your ship still works. So, and puts like a thumbs up and kind of looks nervous. Or we can gamble. And like you see like holographic dice appear in her eyes, and then they flicker back to her eyes and goes, and then we can attempt to eject the problem into space. And it does like a hand motion as if it's floating away.
I'm all for ejecting the problem. I'm all for it.
Can we get the best of both worlds?
You kind of like see her just like turn to you and kind of look a bit confused, but kind of eager. You know, that kind of like, oh, what's coming next kind of face.
Can you and Emmelyn, for example, go and get the ship working, get started on the hangar doors? If one of us goes to release the ejector.
And she kind of goes, And you see her like go to instinctively like start tapping on her lips, but obviously she's got like a big like clunky hand and a faceplate and stuff, and she kind of like looks sad at it, puts her hand back down awkwardly, and then looks at it and goes, the manual releases need to be done simultaneously.
How many are there?
And then she brings up like the holographic display of like the lab section. It's all like blacked out, and then like little highlighted points appear, and she goes, there are 4 points. So, and she looks around everybody as if having to count again. She goes, one of us could go start the ship up. And it kind of looks blankly at Zora. While the other 4 release. And she kind of like closes the palm. And the holographic display goes away. And she goes, personally, I volunteered to start the ship. And she puts like her hand up.
You're not getting on the ship without us.
You're definitely not getting into the ship without me.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening.
Like the place starts to shake even more. Like the whole place starts to like vibrate.
Right, I'll turn to the captains. I'll say, if you want me to go, I can go.
Who's best to deal with the doors is probably Nix.
To deal with the doors on the way or the ejection?
The hangar doors.
That's true.
Well, that is maybe a problem for when you are on board the ship, though, right? Because there is that getting sucked into space thing you might need to worry about.
Yes.
So yeah, if that's the case, then I guess Emmelyn would probably be best to get the ship ready to roll.
Yep.
So,
Yep, send the
Emmelyn-
injured person all the way back. Hours.
She's injured as well. I mean, like,
Also,
well,
there's-
that's true, actually. It's about dangerous route.
and the risk of any manual release doors on the way, would I suggest sending the captain? You are best placed to deal with any difficulties on the way.
That is true. That is true.
You
Okay.
you saying it's Zora's MVP here? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying is solo tanks go.
So it's true. I guess right. I'll handle the doors on the way back to the ship. You guys handle the releases.
This sounds just gonna point
Like
this out there.
splitting up the party.
This sounds a hell of a lot like we're splitting apart.
Yeah, I love it. So here we go. Right. So what's Zora's thoughts on this? How's Zora replying?
Well, as she says, obviously that she wouldn't mind going back to the ship. I'd be like, you're not getting on the ship before us. Like,
She looks grumpy at this.
without us. And we need you to direct everybody to the releases.
She kind of brightens up and goes, "Oh yeah, that's true." Kind of nods.
That's diplomatic side right there.
Absolutely, diplomacy to her senses.
I would kind of grunt at the idea, like, no handling the releases myself, but I'll handle the doors. I'll handle the doors on the way back to the ship.
Oh man, if you'd been fully attuned and you just gravitoned all of the releases from the centre of the... that'd be great.
That would actually be pretty cool.
But then wouldn't you have been ejected with the lab, so I mean...
It's true. It's true. That's true. It would be a problem eventually, but not right now. Don't want
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I guess that's all I'll say. I would
Okay.
lay out the plan.
Right, okay, what's everybody else's thoughts about the plan?
I don't think we should split up. That's my thoughts.
I don't see that we have any choice. Oh, that went weird because I wasn't sure if I was in or out of character. That was. Let me redo that. Yeah.
Right, we're back.
Yeah. I don't see that we have any choice. Point me where you need me to go, and I'll go.
Whatever we do, we have to hurry up.
Alice nods,
Yes.
like, very quickly at that, as if yes.
So I just say I don't really like it either, but I don't think we've got much of a choice.
We don't have many options here. The captain's right. We should just get moving on the plan.
Sounds like a good plan. Well, yeah.
I'm start running. I
Cool.
would actually just start.
So like you head into like the decontamination area, heave the doors open, I guess.
Yes.
Can you type Zora to ship and roll me an athletics check just now?
Just when I could use like that nat 20, you know. But that would have been.
It's not
I think
bad.
that's pretty good.
Not bad at all. What did you actually roll in that one? So that was actually 17. That's all right. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, sometimes you don't get as good as that.
Yeah.
Right. So Zora, like, it heaves open the first door, probably still running on the adrenaline from the last door, and good. I'm going to have to do the thing that keeps my crew alive by doing this well. Rips open the first kind of like decontamination door. You hear like it heave and like argue at the idea of it being opened without all the electronics working, and then all you guys see is Zora kind of like disappear into like the decontamination chambers and start ripping open other doors and heading off. Okay,
As you do.
so we've got Team Zora and we have Team Eject, I guess. And then Alice looks around at everyone and goes, can I be captain now? Puts her hand up.
I wouldn't say that to the captain, but we do need you to lead. Well, direct us.
Just like she was
Be
nodding when you
director.
were like lead, and then you said you changed to direct, and she like tilts her head and keeps nodding. Okay, team, and she puts like her hand out into the middle of the group. What do you do?
And look on in confusion.
Next. Emmelyn?
Just stare blankly, I think,
Emmelyn?
and then walk towards the door.
Also stare blankly.
She's on the wrong team for Team Spirit. She's on the absolute wrong team for Team Spirit.
I
Know
think,
your audience, Alice.
I think with that as well, like everybody then like used 3, start heading towards the doorway to head to the clockwise direction of the outer ring, and then she just stands there like clenches her fist, like looks at like her fist, like down, and then she looks down towards all the ripped open doors as if she's looking longingly after Zora, as if I should have went with Zora, you know. And then she kind of like just goes, shrugs, and just carries on towards the camera, and then we head to you guys. So you head through the first lab, and again, there's a lot of computer consoles set up, but none of them are on. Some of them look damaged, broken in 2. There's a lot of like scorch marks in this room, as if there's been a lot of damage done, and it leads to a very big kind of solid looking door at the far side that does look big enough to like ship crates through if you were gonna like, it's, you know, like maybe like 8 foot squared, this door, and that's at the far side of this pretty much trashed lab. What do you do?
Head through the lab to the door.
Yep. So like if he's so like you hear like the crunching of underfoot of basically crap that's been lying around this lab and been trashed. He's kind of head off to the side of it. It's not easy to get through, to be honest. It's quite just like someone's turned over a room basically, but then half of that's been destroyed and incinerated.
Does it look like it's been? Yeah, you mentioned incinerated, so it looks very much like those things have gone through. And
I mean, it wouldn't be like a Far Cry, right? I mean, it looks like a lot of things have been burnt to shit.
Okay, so it's just because you were describing a room that looked almost like I was imagining a room that had been tossed by somebody ransacking.
No, it does look like it's been tossed, but also burnt.
Ah, right. Okay, I see.
Imagine like this place has been trashed and then these things pass through. You know, that wouldn't be a bad assumption. But yeah, these big heavy doors are at the far side. You just kind of spent some time, maybe take 10 minutes or whatever, just to cross this room. Quite a big lab area, quite wide as well, and he's got across the other side, obviously in the dark, of course. You've got thingies like lights on her shoulders. Alice has got those up. She's left the computer in that T-junction, FYI, to give you a hand with the release, and then yeah, she's like, right, so we need to go through that door, and just points at the big giant heavy door.
I take it the systems aren't working for us to get it open.
Well, there's no power, yeah. At least it doesn't look like there's any power.
No manual release.
Not that you can see.
Okay, Alice, I guess we have to try opening this one.
You kind of see her going, and like nodding. Just like with the tilt of the headlamps that are on her shoulders. And then she's like, and he kind of like looks back as if expecting Zora to be there.
Wah, wah, wah.
That means us, Alice.
Oh! And then you see her head up to the doors and she's like, I've never been in here before. And just looks at the door.
What do you mean? You don't know what's past the door?
Nope. Okay, like has like her hands on her hips and she's kind of like staring up at this 8-foot door.
But you do know we have to go through it.
Oh yeah. And
So-
like pops up, like opens her palm, and like shows you like the blacked out lab chunk, and then the 4 points of it. Be like, yep, this place was built to be modular. And then like closes her palm.
Okay, well,
I guess
well.
we still need to get through it, Alice.
Yes,
So,
that's a good plan.
can you help me to try and open this door?
And you just see her go, and kind of like look at you. There's like a determined look on her face. She nods once, then she turns to the door, and she kind of like stares at it with her hands on her hips. And she's like, I'm open to ideas.
So we go and open it as we did with the other doors.
It doesn't look like there's anywhere to pry like apart because it's like one solid sheet.
Does it look like I might be able to blast through it?
I mean, is there anything that doesn't look like you're able to blast through it?
I will therefore tell Alice to Alice, take a step back.
You just like see her like take literally one step back while staring at the door.
You'll want to step further away than that. Come stand next to me, I say as I back about 10, 15 feet.
She goes, "Oh," and then like quite excitedly walks over to you.
And I decide to just fire at it with my laser.
Sure. So you like shoulder mount your laser.
Yep.
Feel free to type shooting the door and
Shooting. Oh, how do I spell that?
I don't know, just shoot the door is good enough, right?
There we go.
And then roll an attack roll for me. And obviously mark your ammo and track all that nonsense, etc. Smash that like button, etc.
Boom. Only does one
Actually, like-
damage.
That's ooh.
It hits.
Imagine it didn't. That'd be terrifying. The doors turn. Yeah, like you bring it up. Like you actually hear like a yelp, almost just like an unexpected scream of a yelp, come from next to you as like Alice ducks down and like puts her hands over her head. As you've like shoulder mounted this piece of equipment and just blasted this door. And then yeah, like have you like did you mention that to any of the people with you, or are they just greeted with the sound of a screaming laser pistol or laser artillery cannon smash the door? And
Yeah, I wouldn't have mentioned it.
so how does Lyko and Olka, or actually Emmelyn, sorry, react to the artillery blast?
Suddenly artillery.
Suddenly, kabam! And also the scream from Alice.
I think Emily she was maybe looking around the lab a little bit.
Yeah.
So she wasn't expecting it. She just kind of ducks a little bit
Mhm.
and then looks at Nyx like, what the fuck? You could have warned us.
Yeah, because like I think for like a split second as well, the whole room would have lit up, right? In that flash, as this thing like tries to like singe the door. Obviously though, this door was pretty singed before, and now just doesn't really look any different. Like the scorch marks that you were shooting at are as scorched as they were previously. You know, like the blast hit off the door didn't seem to have much of an effect though.
Mm-hmm.
While that happened, I would have put my stuff away, sort of just for the sake of mobility. You know, traveling. I'm not actually looking to shoot anything. Although I may have kept my knife out for the sake of moving faster. That's a reference that's not at all dated.
It's
Oh,
a very
God.
dated one.
Anyway,
That's
shut
crazy.
Lies. It's new and fresh. Hip.
Circa
Anyway,
the 90 what?
Listen, I'm not old. Anyway, yeah. So I would probably like in response to that sort of turn around and just like he'd be starting to draw his pistol, and then realize, oh, it's just Nyx trying to open a door. That's fine.
Yeah.
But there would be a second of like, who am I gonna have to shoot?
And I think as you guys like react, like you've got this shot of like Emmelyn just kind of like ducking suddenly. You've got like Lyko like maybe half pivoting, pulling his gun out of the holster, and the knife crossing across his chest. You've got the scream of Alice as she ducks down, and then like the light level dies really quickly, and like Nyx like unmounts the artillery gun from his shoulder and looks at the wall kind of disheartedly. And Alice stands up really quickly as if nobody's seen that.
Damn.
Then you see her looking at like your gun essentially, and she's like, "Whoa." And that's pretty much all she says.
So what did she say?
Mostly she looks at the gun that you've just like unmounted from your shoulder and she goes, "Whoa." As
Yeah,
if,
that usually
wow.
that usually works.
And she kind of like pats you on the shoulder gently and just nods. If you could feel patronised, you. So yeah. Anyway, the Yeah, the door's pretty much untouched. And then Alice is like, I'll try this. And then just starts punching the wall at the side of the door. You just hear clanking noises as she's smacking big kind of clunky fists at the door. With the side of the door.
I like her technique.
Alice, is there ventilation connecting these modules?
And like she stops like and turns like half her body outside while like the right arm is still like smacking into the wall. And you can kind of see her like think to herself, and she's like, no. And then she kind of like you can see her like looking, and then she like projects like almost like bits of files as if she doesn't have full access to what she used to. And you can see her like scoring through all these kind of like data on one hand, and then you can obviously see her punching into the wall with the other. Obviously maybe distracting through conversation. And she's kind of looking, and she's like bringing up like shipping manifests and previous deliveries to the station. And she's trying to look at things like maybe like if MD could see the dates, which she probably can't, but for the audience they can see the dates flicking past, like going back years to like perhaps the construction of the station. And she's trying to find like what could have been imported here, because obviously the lab module might have been fitted and shipped here. Thus she could track what it is instead of what's inside it. So you can see her kind of looking through all that, and she's like, no, closes her fist, the holographic kind of display disappears, and then she just goes back to punching the wall with both fists.
Bit of a long shot. Emmelyn, is there anything you can, shift in the door that might help? Like, I'm not saying move the door with your brain, but
I'm
I mean,
not saying that.
That would be great, but it is gestures towards the door. It's a large door, I see that, but maybe there's like a mechanism you could budge.
Like a lock.
A lock?
Oh.
That's an example of one.
I can try.
So let's all go back to what Lashunta's can't do. So, like,
Probably not move a door.
so we get Psychokinetic Hand. I think that was on something like page, what is it, 341 maybe? 341? I think that's days. Well, we're close enough. So we need to jump down.
He's the door.
Sort of. Felicity, you don't get that sort of accuracy with it.
Yeah,
No, I think it's just like a.
you need to
little
see the
movement.
things, I think, sadly.
Okay.
It'd be different if you could see into the workings of it, you just couldn't reach it.
Telekinetically move an object of one bulk or less. So
You point your finger at the target object, gaining the ability to lift and move it at will from a
Yes,
distance.
I have to see it to be able to point at it.
Yeah,
and there's nothing that would.
not really, no. But you do have this wonderful loud, like smashing sound, as obviously she's smacking a wall repeatedly. All while
Is
the
that having
station's
any
shaking.
effect?
Well, I mean, it's hard to tell given that the place is shaking anyway. So you see her, and like the movement of the lights from the shoulders as she pivots, obviously at the waist, as her like fists rock'em sock'em style are punching this spot on the wall. Yeah.
Have we checked whether there's a manual release at all?
No.
Should
I-
we maybe
Probably
check?
not. Ask
Yeah,
that.
probably should check.
Yeah,
that.
and my answer was none that you can see.
No.
Alright.
And I search more for one.
Or search
Look
for
harder.
one. Yeah, who wants to look for it while she's punching the wall?
Guess that would probably be my purview.
Sure. Wanna give me a...
This is have to be.
No?
Um,
We
Unless
can
anyone else
all
wants it.
look, right?
well, yeah, we could assist at the very least, right?
Sure, and do you know what the assist mechanic is?
We have discussed this, and I don't recall.
Nope.
Skills.
Let's work that out.
There's a difference between skilled and non-skilled, isn't there?
Yeah. Essentially what I would like to do is get you in this door and then break, because you will see why. But we'll wait and see how well that goes. So our break might be
Age
somewhat
another.
delayed. Not to break the fourth wall there for everybody at home.
Good old door puzzles.
While you are looking that up though, right? Zora, give me another athletics check.
Okay.
You're doing kind of a...
Leaving.
Yeah, basically you're just ongoing checks.
An endurance test.
It's mostly to see how quickly you can get back, right? Because the better you do with these rolls, well,
That's a bad one. That's a bad one. Yeah.
okay. Feel free to mark a success and a fail just now, right? For your own logs, and I'll work out how efficient you are at getting back.
So yeah, aiding another.
What page?
The others can. It's on page 133.
133.
You can attempt a DC 10 check to grant another creature a +2 bonus. Sorry. To their check.
So who's looking for the release and who's helping look? Basically.
I'm gonna help look.
Okay, so you roll a perception check to get 10 or higher, I assume. To give him a +2 to his perception check to actually find it. I think is how that works.
More than one person be able to assist, or is that +2 the limit?
It's at the GM's discretion. Only a limited number of creatures might be able to aid another.
I'd actually say don't do it, Emmelyn, because I'd say it's probably way easier for Lyko to help given the darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do you see what I mean? Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And then that way I'd have to make a GM discretion call since you're in the dark anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So So we're rolling perception on a DC 10.
For you, yeah.
Yeah. Correct. So perception to assist.
Yeah, just even aid another, or like that's good enough. Do you mean like aid? Yeah.
So that, now I roll well.
Yeah.
So
Fuck off.
Alex, roll your
Sorry.
1. This is
Yeah,
+2, of
great.
course.
Perception.
That's +2, right? So
+2.
so
Yep.
it's a 16 total.
Yep. Damn.
Why did you roll twice? Oh, right. You didn't roll twice. It just moved it up because of the +2. Cool. Yeah, so 16. Yeah, as you can see, Lyko's obviously searching around. The reason how he helps is because he goes to the left-hand side of the door where Alice isn't and starts looking around. And because of that, that makes you go to the right-hand side where Alice is, and you see that she's actually punching into a manual release.
Oh, I do like her a great deal.
But yeah, so you can kind of see that she's starting to work her way into that because she's actually managed to get through like the kind of outer layer of the plating at the side of the door. And you can see like a kind of determined look on her face as you go up, and you spot the fact that that's exactly why she's over here. So yeah, that's what you get. Only you know this, Alex.
Yep. Alice, is there another way to open that?
She's like, that's what I'm trying to do.
Does it not flip up?
Well, you can only see the like through the rips that she's made in the wall. The like the what do you call it thing. It
Manual
would
release.
if there was power.
That doesn't seem like a very effective system for manual release.
And she like stops punching the wall and like turns around to you, and you can see like the armor is covered in bits of the wall, like the fists of it, and she kind of like looks at you with the fists still clenched. She just turns very slowly and looks straight at you and goes, I didn't design this door.
I wasn't criticising you, Alice.
And she kind of like does like a half smile again and goes, and she like opens her hand and kind of gestures towards you like, would you like to try?
Does it look like we can reach into the manual release?
Yeah, I mean you could probably like reach in. She like wrenched a big
Okay.
hole in it, yeah.
Then yes.
Yeah, go for it. Do you want to give me an athletics check and we'll see how well you do for the door?
Opening door. This is going to be bad, isn't it?
Just have faith.
Just a wee crit.
Believe.
No.
It's alright, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
like maybe you have to do that thing where you maybe have to go up on your tiptoes, even though you're like 7 foot. You have to like lean and wrench yourself in, and you can like feel a grip on like the release. So obviously, where this kind of panel might have slid away to really like show it easier, you're gonna have to kind of jank the door handle down in stages.
Mhm.
But you manage it eventually, and you hear like the hiss of the door, and like an alarm klaxon go off, and like red lights flash up all around the edges of the door, as if the door seemed to have power of some kind. And then as like the klaxon blares a couple of times, it kind of flickers, and it goes that distorted noise of like, you know, losing power, like dying batteries. So the klaxon kind of like just stops and the lights flicker out, and the door starts like, again, the steam vents, etc., dramatic lighting, pulls up, opens, and then obviously that's what happens. It releases the locks on the door. You should still have to like lift it up and stuff. So Alice like kind of like jumps off the ground a tiny bit, excitedly, and like claps her hands together. They make quite a loud clanging noise, and then she's like, "Ooh!" and then like runs forward to the door, hits her head off the door first because she's leaning forward to try and like put her hands underneath it. Kind of staggers back a bit, shakes her head. She goes, "Nobody's seen that, okay?" And then walks forward, puts her hands on it, goes, "Give me a hand," and then goes to like start heave the door up. She kind of said that to the room.
Should we all help her?
Just depends what you would do in response to that, you know?
Yeah.
There's light coming from under the door as well, just FYI.
If we can heave it open a bit, can you see what's through there, Lyko?
Yeah, stick your head under
Probably.
Just so we know what's coming.
Sure.
Let us know if we should drop it.
I'll do that once I'm out of the way.
Nice. Right, okay, so it used to, like, Emmelyn and Nick's going to give Alice a hand.
Yeah.
Cool, yep. Do you all want to give me athletics checks? Likely you don't have to. You're good.
Hey.
You can just go prone.
Go prone.
Like in a, he's sort of like in a,
Waffles.
go into like a push-up position.
Yeah.
Athletics.
Oh,
Critical fail!
what do you do?
Wow, I love it.
This is what I do. I flip a coin.
So Emmelyn pretends that her child is under this door. Like the adrenaline surges through her. She's had enough of this shit, you know. She goes
I
to
just want to get out.
yeah. Yeah, like, tell me, Nix 5, how do you not achieve this? Like, what happens? Talk me through this.
Trying to think how this one goes wrong.
So I think, while you're thinking, like, Alice goes, "Give me a hand with this," and Emmelyn just marches straight up over all the crap. It's like, had enough of this. I've already been burnt on my arms, you know. Hands under, helps heave up the door with Alice. Nix 5 goes to like move his arm out of the like cupboard door he's essentially jammed in, and realizes he's pushed the manual release on his arm. So realizes he has to then start to like heave the manual release up a bit before he can unhook, because he's obviously his arm's jammed in the hole that she's punched through. So maybe that's why you don't quite make it out. Maybe
Yeah.
that's more interesting than just having you walk up to a door and just go, "Well, here I am."
I don't know how to door.
Yeah.
This is my problem, inherent problem, I think, with rolling for certain tasks. Is like, and while it is obviously that there's a reason to do it in the system because it sort of creates situations, but sometimes it is just weird that your character would fail at putting their hand under a lifted door and help lift it more. Like,
Well, the thing is, it's the attempt to do it, so he never
Yeah.
even got that far in this explanation, and that's
Yeah.
how I like to do it, because I'm like, I don't mind if you fail at getting to the attempt narratively, which is more interesting than I can't move a door. Because I agree, it is silly sometimes, but that's why he's stuck under the manual release kind of latch, because he was kind of oddly angled and up on his tiptoes anyway. So
He's probably still complaining about the design of the station.
yeah, I mean that seems fair.
And slightly exasperated by Alice now.
As adds to Google Calendar, you know. Other calendars obviously exist also. But yeah, so you just go in, like heave up the door. As they lift the door, maybe it goes up by like a meter, a bit more quickly than they thought. So you're kind of like bathed in really bright light. Lyko, it's probably a bit jarring at first. And yeah, you can just see like the floor level of like a lab ahead of you.
Well, I sort of get up onto my knees quite quickly rather than just staying on the floor for no reason. Yeah, looks clear.
And
I'm
there's
not
like,
seeing anything immediately running
like-
out at me, no.
like the only thing you spot really, right? So you've got, like, the lab floor. There's like kind of like obviously desk, workstations, etc., and things of a lab-ish nature in there, and it's an odd bluish light that is illuminating the place.
It's probably not something we consider worth
Yeah.
noting. So
The audience would
yeah.
notice it though, because it would be a weird filter on the camera. So, but Lyko might not give a crap about it. Yeah. So, do you tell them to move the door up or drop it?
No, I would I don't know. I'd probably pop on through actually, just sort of take the lead. Yeah, sort of as I'm doing that, as I'm like, now sort of crouching through,
Mm.
I would sort of say, yeah, probably come on in.
And like Alice then heaves the door up the rest of the way, just up. Whether Emmelyn helps or not, it's up to you. But like, yeah, she just pushes it the rest of the way, and she kind of stands there and she's like, maybe I should hold this. And then she's like, just kind of standing there with her two hands up, holding the door. Right? Yeah. Nods like determinedly,
Probably smart.
and then
Are we not going to need her to release the?
yeah.
I was going to say that, but I want a back seat now.
How far apart are these things?
She like pulls one hand down and like projects the image of like the lab section, and she's like, well, I think we're here at the start of like the black kind of slightly curved rectangle. She's like, I think we're here. And like it pings the shape, and she goes, and you see like the 4 circles light up at the corners, and she like looks to the side out of the door frame, and then looks to us and goes, they're about, I don't know. I hate the fact that this game uses the imperial system and not like the metric system, but yeah. Oh, it's horrible. She's like, these two, and then she highlights the first 2 pairs. Like, they're about 50 meters apart, and then she pings the back 2, and those are about 50 meters apart. But the others are about 100 meters apart. So the rectangle.
Yeah.
And she highlights that. And then she converts that perfectly to the imperial system, obviously. So yeah, that all happens. And she like looks at the door, and then kind of looks at you guys, and goes, "Hold on," and just punches the door frame. As like the heavy like slate door, if you will, like goes to fall, and then kind of gets jammed in the fact that she's mangled the like what's the runner, I guess, of the door, the frame of the door, and then she kind of like crouches as if, did that work? And then like the faceplate blinks on, she looks up and goes, okay, good, and walks inside and looks at the door and then looks back at the group and kind of shrugs. Yeah, so these are all in the lab, I assume, except Zora, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have now the lab that you are in currently. There is half of it is separated, so like there's what looks like almost like a giant isolation tank. Looks like big, heavy-duty glass-looking kind of screens blocking off what is in the very center of said lab. There's lots of instrumentation pointed at this isolation tank itself as well. Anyone paying attention to said instrumentation can notice that there's odd runes glowing in front of every single one of them. And all these are, as I said, it's like instrumentation, generic lab, sciencey stuff pointed at this sealed off glass containment unit, if you will. And in the very centre of the glass containment unit is, like, I'd say a 9-foot, maybe, purple chrysalis of like kind of shiny purple crystal. And we'll stop there for a break. We will come back soon. It's irrelevant to the people listening, because it's just a click away. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.